Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 26th of 2024, and given that the Walt Disney Company is in a phase of panic right now for multiple divisions over at the company, and the biggest one of all, by the way, is Lucasfilm. This is their biggest worry for multiple reasons out there that we have covered repeatedly. However, focusing on the current status of Snow White 2025, actress Rachel Zegler, it is a complete mess for Bob Iger, the board of directors, the Disney executives, and the list goes on and on. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You could also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So I think that we could all agree here that Rachel Zegler was never a great fit for the Snow White role. Alright, all because of the fact of what she said, how incompetent she really is behind the scenes, whether it was on set or after production wrapped for Snow White, and everything going on with the overall press tour. But it's not just that, alright? We also know that this Snow White character basically was directed at Rachel Zegler to create her as a DEI hire, essentially, for diversity, equity, and inclusion over proper storytelling, character development, and to follow the proper source material. But Zegler, we all know it, they know it, that she is a very insufferable actress, very toxic, and quote-unquote difficult to work with, according to the director, Mark Webb, behind the scenes, who had a lot of problems with the actress. What's interesting about this has a lot more to do with the current status of Rachel Zegler in the wake of getting fired from all Disney projects moving forward after the Snow White trailer Backlash was pretty much on a historic scale for a live-action project based on an animated classic. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, with multiple divisions at the Walt Disney Company already going through numerous setbacks and challenges due to Bob Iger's cost-cutting measures and his deliberate agenda with DEI, one major development now has more to do with Rachel Zegler in the wake of the Snow White trailer Backlash and the ultimate decision by Bob Iger and the rest of the board to finalize their plans of firing Rachel Zegler and removing her from several projects as a response to the Snow White Backlash. As it turns out, Zegler was initially promised a multi-million-dollar contract deal. However, that contract was not fully complete. She was set to hold a major role in the new Pirates of the Caribbean remake film, an animated movie to compete against Shrek 5 by DreamWorks, and even a direct Snow White sequel to the 25 film, and among other projects. However, after Zegler was just recently fired from all Disney projects, including the ones mentioned, moving onwards, due to that, of course, due to the general conflicts and drama, the only project that she will be dedicated to is the current Snow White film, and even that is falling into shambles. Already, Zegler is reportedly playing the race card like many other actresses have done before in the past against Disney for the reasoning of her firing, along with how she is now looking to group up with her agent and manager to start some form of a legal case against the Walt Disney Company, as she claims behind the scenes that her contract was final, when in reality it wasn't. This overall decision by Bob Iger reportedly left Zegler in tears. It was that dramatic. Very similar to the same situation that happened with Amandla Stenberg and Leslie Headland and how they found themselves in with Lucasfilm under Disney. Already 5 test screenings, get this, for Snow White failed, and a 6th one is on the horizon to take place by the beginning of September. Now, Zegler already had sparked outrage recently after learning that she was fired from the new upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean film, which she was supposed to be one of the main leads in the all-female version of the movie, separate from the other remake, as 2 were in the works. The animated film, Zegler was going to be the main lead in the film that was planned by Pixar to be their version of Shrek, essentially, as well. As of now, Zegler is in multiple heated battles against the Disney Company behind the scenes, where she was also booted out from singing a song on stage at the Snow White world premiere that was set to take place in Los Angeles, right around the end of February into early March. Altogether, between her film offers and gigs, she was going to land a roughly $15 million deal that would be used as a launch pad, essentially, for her acting career, and with that launch pad now essentially dead and going nowhere, this is leaving Zegler in a nervous and panicky stage for her acting career and its overall future. Now guys, let me just say one thing right here. Now, Disney should have never hired someone like Rachel Zegler to begin with. I think that if you're hiring someone like Rachel Zegler, if you're hiring her for the wrong reasons, for the usage of diversity, equity, and inclusion in a Snow White movie, well, then, of course, you have to look at their background. How have they been with other films on set? Are they difficult to work with? That kind of stuff. Now, she may or may not have had that overall record at the time, but still at the same exact time, Disney always seems to make the same exact mistake time and time again, and here they find themselves, again, in a very similar situation to Amandla Stenberg and Leslie Headland at Lucasfilm, and even Brie Larson and Tatiana Maslany over at Marvel Studios. I mean, those four separate, situations are very similar to the Zegler scenario. And that's not a good look for the board of directors, and it's most certainly not a good look for Bob Iger. This is why they have to learn who they hire, what their background is, how they are able to, work with the directors and the writers and the overall cast and the crew. But moving onwards, alright? Now, the reasoning behind this sparked outrage that took place just recently behind the scenes between Zegler, her team, and a series of Disney executives. As of now, Bob Iger is getting ready to hold an emergency meeting on what to do with the roles that Zegler was supposed to take and who would be best fit to take over those roles, as they are now looking to create a new roster or selection of actresses to replace Zegler to get production going for, of course, the new animated movie that's going to be done in Shrek style, and the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot film, the all-female cast one. The only production not moving forward, as mentioned, now in the roster, is the Snow White sequel, as that has been cancelled. Now, again, the fact that they wanted to make 3 Snow White movies, we talked about this many, many times, if you guys have been following us for months. This was their overall plan. They wanted 3 movies, one Snow White film in 2025, another in 2027 to focus on the sequel, and in 2029 to focus on the origin story of the evil queen. They're kind of trying to do this now with The Lion King. You got The Lion King 2019, you got Mufasa coming out this year, and they want to do another one on top of that would serve as a direct sequel to the 2019 film. I don't think it's going to happen in the long run. But focusing on Rachel Zegler here, I mean, the fact that she gets this nasty, she gets this self-absorbed, and how she acts behind closed doors against Disney executives, believing that she's all that, believing that she's above executives, and that she has the say in the matter, not understanding that her contract was not complete, was not concrete or final, or anything like that. That is really, a great example of how she just doesn't understand how the film industry always works. Things happen, and that's just how it is. So what's interesting about Bob Iger, again, I don't believe he's really trying to fix the company per se. I believe that what he's been doing with The Acolyte, and in this case with Snow White, it's just so bad. The production is so bad that they cannot, support it. That's how bad it is. Because the ratio across the board for both trailers, Acolyte and Snow White, are on a historic level, and that is very revealing. So overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.